What's up, y'all? It's your boy Simply Food by TY, and today I'm going to show y'all, baby, how to make yourselves a Philly steak and cheese egg roll. Yes, yes. Now look, so what I'm doing right now is I am prepping the green peppers for this. Now, because I'm going to be mincing these down to such a small mince, I'm actually going to go on ahead and actually use this entire pepper. Y'all know me, I am known for only using half of something, but for this particular recipe, because I'm making so many egg rolls, I'm going to go on ahead and use the entire thing. And like I said, I'm going to break this down to a complete mince because you want the peppers and the onions to be really, really tiny. Now, just so you know, if you wanted to, you can use the green bell pepper, red bell pepper. You know, you can use any of the tricolors. That's completely fine. It's completely up to you on what you would like to do in regards to that. Now, also, I'm going to be using a half of a sweet onion. Now, for this, I am only going to be using half because I really am not a big onion fan, as you guys already know, of course. So I'm going to be using half of this sweet onion, once again, mincing that down, and then I'm going to mix those two things together, and then we're going to cook them up. If there's any other veggies that you would like to add, feel free. If you're a mushroom person, you know, you can feel free to add some mushrooms, but y'all know I can't get down with that. So I'm adding in right now was about two to 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and I'm adding in the steak that I'm using. Now, these are steakums. I'm not being extra and buying no steak and slicing it up and all. You do not need to be doing all of that. And trust me, the restaurants aren't doing it either, honey. You know what I mean? So I'm actually using an entire pack. So this is actually, I think, roughly about 25 steakums that I'm using. Once again, I am making a fairly large amount of the mix. And the good thing is that, hey, if you have extra, you can throw it on a sandwich and, you know, have a steak and cheese sub. So it's completely fine if you make more than what you need. But like I said, I'm making a very, very large amount of these egg rolls. And I've added the onions and the green peppers to it. Now, of course, y'all already know I'm whipping it up with my seasonal salt. I will definitely be having that on sale in the next coming months, so make sure that you guys are subscribed to my website, which is www.SimplyFoodByTy.com, so that you can stay up to date on all of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want to miss on that. I'm also adding in some garlic powder, roughly about 2 tablespoons, and the same thing with the onion powder as well, about 2 tablespoons. Of course, if you're not going to make as much as I am, of course, you can make adjustments to the seasoning. And I'm adding in about a half a tablespoon of Slap Your Mama Creole seasoning, and then, of course, black pepper to taste. If you wanted to have a little bit of a heat factor to it, you could also add yourself in some cayenne pepper, but I didn't really do that just because I don't really think it's necessary. Now, I have this up on about a medium high. It's not going to take long for these steakums to cook down. And you really honestly want to keep an eye on this, because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to overcook this stuff. It does not take long to cook at all, but if you overcook it, to me, it loses all of its flavor, and then it just becomes extra tough and dry, and it's just not the business. So really keep an eye on this. It should take you no more than, I would say, 10 minutes tops to fry this meat up, okay? Now, once you get the meat and everything fully cooked, you're going to go on ahead and just sit that to the side, and you're going to allow it to cool down for, I would say, roughly about 5 minutes. As you can see, it's really minced down. Once it's done, sit it in a bowl, let it cool down for about 5 to 10 minutes. That way, when we step into this next phase, which is actually making the egg rolls, you'll be able to handle it with your hands. Now, I'm going to be using just, regular old egg roll wraps. So you can find it at your local grocery store. Nothing special about these at all. One thing you do want to do that you do not want to skip is make sure you are putting water on all of the sides. That is extremely important so that these egg rolls do not fall apart. You don't have to be shy with it. Put a generous amount of water on it. You don't need to do egg white or egg yolk. I don't know why people do that. I just feel like that's so extra. Now, as far as filling it, as you guys can see, I still got the steam like popping. Don't go overboard, okay? A little bit does go a long way because you have to remember we're also going to be adding in our slices of cheese. Now, if you want, you can be fancy and go get fancy cheddar and all of that. I don't think it's necessary. I'm actually, honestly, I'm just using single craft cheese right now. And that was one piece of cheese that I broke in half so that I could easily put it in. You're going to take it from both corners, put it into the side, fold it over like a newspaper, and then as you're rolling it, you want to make sure that you're tucking it nice and tight, okay? Once you get it over, as you can see here where the lip is, you want to make sure that you're putting water around on the outside edge of that as well. Once again, the water is going to work like glue. Now, what I do is I just sit them to the side because once they start to dry, then they really will adhere to each other, and then you don't have to worry about the egg rolls falling apart. Another little trick is that honestly, if you want, once you make these up, wrap them in saran wrap, and if you sit them to the side, then you're really, really good to go. But you don't have to do that. That's just an, a little extra step of precaution. So I'll show you guys one more time how to do it. Like I said, make sure you put the water on all of the sides, and then you're going to put your slice of cheese, or don't put the cheese. You can use white American, Swiss, Munster. If you want, you can add yourself some bacon on the inside. You can also put in some like real fried onions. You can really jazz this up. It's really completely up to you. It's so easy. And the best thing about this is that you can also do it with chicken. If you wanted to do like a chicken cheese steak, that's completely fine. Get yourself some ground chicken, season it up, put it inside the egg roll wraps. It's pretty much the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Once again, we're going to put some water around on the sides there just to really make sure they're locked down. And as you can see on the sides of them, they're nice and tight. Nothing's going to come out of the sides of them. So that's why it's important to make sure that you're folding them from the inside out and then work your way in. So this is the first batch that I'm doing. So as you guys can see, that's a lot, and that's only the first batch, okay? Those are the ones with cheese, because I'm doing some without cheese. Now, you want to make sure, you guys, this is very, very important. If you do not have a deep fryer, and if you are pan frying these, the first things first is make sure that your grease is at temperature, okay? You do not want these egg rolls just sitting in the grease if the oil is not hot enough. The next thing that you must do is once you put them in the pan, just simply move them around for a few moments so that they do not stick to the bottom, okay? That is very, very important, especially if you're using a non-stick pan. So like, for instance, what you guys are looking at right now is me using a stainless steel pan. Had I not moved those around in the first few seconds, them bad boys would have stuck to the bottom. They would have burnt up and it would have been a mess. Don't feel like you have to leave it on one side to completely brown. It's completely fine if you keep turning these around. If anything, it'll save you the risk of having them stick if you're continuously flipping them, if you are not deep frying them. If you do have a deep fryer available, oh honey, live your life. Throw them in a deep fryer for about, a minute or so until they get golden brown and you're good to go. But as you can see, I just kept flipping them and kept flipping them and kept flipping them until they got to the brownness that I want them to be, which is golden and crispy and beautiful, you guys. And that's it. I just kept repeating this step. You can mix and match it, put chicken in it, put turkey in it, do whatever you want. But that's pretty much it. This is my, recipe for my Philly steak and cheese egg rolls. Look, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome to Simply Food by TY, honey. Look, I hope you guys come on back. I hope y'all try this recipe. But before we go, look at the inside of that damn egg roll. Now, you know that don't make no sense. Good God almighty, I'm hungry. Bye.
In the kitchen. Simply Food by TY. We hope that you enjoyed it. Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food by TY.